The trailers are rolling in and it is nearly rodeo time here in Fordland, Missouri. We're here to learn about the Missouri Family Rodeo Association and what keeps bringing multiple generations of families back year after year. So rodeos take place year-round all over the country, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But we're here in Fordland, Missouri for the Missouri Family Rodeo Association sanctioned rodeo. What does that mean?
What that means is that you can go anywhere in rodeo, about anywhere over the state of Missouri. And what's special about ours is that it is family-based.
Let's talk about the history of the association. When and how did it all get started?
Okay, it started back in 1998, and it evolved from you go anywhere, but you couldn't rope, let's just use that for example, with your kid, you know, and be competitive with the other adults. And so we wanted events where moms and dads could rope with their kids, or kids could go and still be competitive, you know, and be able to compete against ages of their own versus against some of the older ages.
You're competing against your peers, but you can also compete with your family and your friends. You can compete up.
That's right. Yes,
and you're learning at such a young age. You said 6 and under?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. We go all sorts of ages. We got some that, you know, 3-year-olds will compete.
So true generation. So, you know, thinking about that, how many generations deep would you say it's run?
Well, I know of at least 4 generations. I actually come and we compete in 3 generations.
Your family?
My family itself, yeah. My dad and I rodeoed through this association when I was growing up. He doesn't rodeo anymore, but he's here at all the rodeos and he watches my kids rodeo now. So that's 3 generations itself. I actually had visited with a couple earlier that said that there was about 4 generations of them, you know, may not be competing today yet, but have competed and are still competing, you know, some of the younger ones.
Well, Cheyenne, I think I learned that you've grown up running the rodeo circuit. What got you started and how old were you?
I actually rode my first horse, I think I was 2 weeks old. My mom...
Not by yourself, right?
No, with my mom. She actually was about 8-9 months pregnant and still running barrels with me, so...
That's dedication.
Yeah, she had me and then put me on a horse like 2 weeks later, and I've just grown up on them ever since.
And so now you grew up in the Missouri Family Rodeo Association. What has it meant to you and how have you transitioned through the different events and now as a young adult?
Well, growing up, like, all I ever wanted to do was just go fast. Like, put me on a horse, Mom, I want to go fast. And growing up, like, I've saw a lot of maturity in myself, and like, you develop lifelong friends. Like, my best friend and I met at Missouri Family Rodeo several years ago, and we're sisters basically now. So you just develop relationships that grow and you mature, and it's a second family.
So what events did you start out riding?
I started out running barrels and poles as a kid, and then as I grew up, I wanted to rope because my dad roped. So now, like, I just did every event possible. Once I got to where I could ride and do them all, I did them all. Like barrels, poles, goat tying, breakaway, team roping.
So Cole, I understand that you were 11 years old, but you've been doing this for how many years? How many years have you been competing in any type of rodeo event?
I've been doing this for 4 years, and I started sheep riding.
And sheep riding, otherwise known as mutton busting.
Mutton busting.
What first got you interested in being part of some type of rodeo event?
My grandpa used to own the MJRC, which is another rodeo association, and my sister always done it, and I just wanted to get into it.
Kind of in your blood?
Yeah.
So today, you started mutton busting, but today you competed in what?
I competed in team roping, steer breakaway, calf breakaway, steer riding, and goat tying.
You've had a busy day already.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite event?
Team roping.
Team roping, why?
I get to hang out with my friends because all my friends are in that event, and I just like I like competing with them a lot.
Well, I want to learn more about what the association means. What does it mean to be a part of this group, and the value of that continuity and these friends? And we've been standing here, and you know everybody that runs by, and they're friends.
Yep, that's right. You become family, just as the name is. You know, we become a group, and when you go somewhere, you know each other. You high-five them in the arena and outside of the arena, you know, and you walk up, you call them by name. Everybody knows everybody, you know, and you become a true family, you know. If you don't know someone when we start, before the season's halfway over, you know them, you know, and it becomes where you just learn everybody.
You mentioned a season. What does that season look like?
That season starts generally in February or March and rolls through about mid to late October. We try to run 21 rodeos is what we're hitting right now. Actually, this rodeo is about our halfway, just a little over halfway point. So we start in February. We go to indoor pens, you know, and arenas then, and we try to stay out of the weather and elements best we can. And then we end up back in indoor arena for our finals in October.
Well, you talked about finals, you know, heading up, coming up here this winter. So you are racking up points throughout the whole season.
That's
Tell me
right.
about that and what it means to make it to finals.
Okay, so when you go to your first rodeo, you buy a membership for our association.
For that year?
For the year. It's good for the whole year. And you are competing in your age division all season long. And so we have year-end awards that you're working towards. You know, the most points you can accumulate all season long will get you to the top spot in your age division in that event.
So we've already seen today team roping at
Yep.
varying stages of ages and partnerships there, husband and wives,
Yes,
father, son,
Yes, ma'am.
neighbors maybe.
Yep.
What other events will take place throughout the evening?
This evening we're going to still have some calf roping. There'll be bulldogging. We'll even go into the rough stock end of things where you got your bulls and your bucking horses. And in that, like the bulls and stuff, we start them as young as 6 and under on sheep, actually.
Mutton busting?
Mutton busting, that's right. Mutton busting, and we work them all the way up through calves and steers and then into the bulls. And then from there, we'll go into more of our timed event stuff, which is our goat tying, barrel racing, and pole bending.
We did really good. We had a really good day. So the type of day we had does not happen often in the rodeo world. So,
But you keep going to the next rodeo no matter what happened at the last.
Yes.
What keeps that motivation? What keeps you coming back?
the sport itself, the enjoyment, the fun. There is a lot of discouragement. I have got discouraged and threw my rope in the dirt, and then
And then you pick it up.
I pick it up because I'm told you're not quitting, and like that's not a winner's attitude, and that's not who I'm called to be. I'm called to be a light and to go out and, you know, build the next generation and help them. And so like it just keeps me going, knowing, you know, hey, you just got to dust that one off and go on.
You talked about being that light and helping that next generation. How are you giving back now?
I've actually, this summer, I did a rodeo Bible camp and I taught the breakaway ropers. I'm leaving tomorrow to go to another one. And like so many of these kids, I've grown up with like their parents helping me and being encouragers, and now like I'm helping those kids and encouraging them. There's one little girl that rides my horse, and there's a couple that's like been in tight binds that I've had to borrow him to. And you know, it's a give back sport.
What does it mean to be able to spend nearly every Saturday from February through October with this group of people and taking in these skills and spending time with your family?
I love it because all my friends are here, and I love being out and outdoors and hanging out with horses.
So we talked earlier about the generations, you know, and your family is just one example. That's 3 deep.
Yep.
So what value have you seen raising your kids in it and still having fun?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me with horses is I grew up with horses, and I wanted my daughters to have horses, and the Lord blessed me with daughters that like horses, and so I say blessing. Unfortunately, that gets so far, yeah. No, it's been good. We get to enjoy them at home. It gives the kids a job. They have to take care of their own horses. You know, they get responsibility. Get them brushed off. I help them saddle. you know, but for the most part, they feed and take care of them at home, you know, and so they've learned a lot about what it takes to actually have a responsibility and take care of things, you know, and I'd say there's a lot of other kids around that can speak the same, you know.
When I think summer, I can't help but think fairs and rodeos. Today we've seen FFAers showcasing their ag-mech, field crops, and horticulture projects. And then we hopped into a rodeo arena to see some team roping, barrel racing, and mutton busting. Youth cultivating their passions and having some fun. Don't forget to always follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm your host, Jamie Johansson. Join me next week from the tailgate.